friends. I'm so glad you're here with me. Let's, blah. I'm supposed to stop the video and start over again, but I'm not gonna. Let's paint a frog. I found a really cute reference photo. Okay, let's get started. Hey guys, I just wanted to show you a quick show and tell. So this is the last video I did. I've got so much stuff I want to talk about as reminders. Let's move a few things. It's an 8x8 canvas panel. It's a simple landscape. We practice a little bit more with clouds and some color in the clouds. And then I put it in a fun little white frame, which I think really makes it look nice. So I just wanted to show you. This would be the last video that I uploaded to YouTube. If you wanted to check it out, there's another simple landscape painting. And then there's in the art tips lesson playlist, there's a how to paint clouds with different brushes and even a palette knife if you want to try that. So I just wanted to show you that. And then I've heard some artists talk about, this is a Michaels canvas, which I just love. It's their level 3 canvas. I've sprayed it with water to tighten it up. I have a video showing that. They are gallery wrapped and they're tucked, and then there's a little rubber, I don't know if you can see that in there. I believe that's called spline when it's tucked in with a little rubber strip. They're really nice. The only reason I'm making an effort to point this out is I've heard some other YouTube artists talk about how they wouldn't use a Michaels canvas, and maybe they mean, you know, I don't know, the 20 pack for $20 or something. Although this is a Michaels canvas board. So I'm not sure what they mean. I thought I would show you, oh, it doesn't actually, oh, maybe it says here. I thought I'd show you what it says. So heavyweight cotton duck, archival quality, acid-free titanium acrylic gesso primed. And it tells you the size, 1.5 inches. These are 1.5 inches thick. Wood frame profile. Used for acrylic painting and oils. Oh, professional frame constructed with kiln-dried beveled stretcher bars. To me that says really nice canvas like you would buy from other companies. But let me know what you think in the comments if you don't agree with that. But I mean, having the kiln-dried stretcher bars, it shouldn't warp on you. You know, the acid-free gesso canvas, this canvas should outlast me by a lot of years. Okay, and then I wrote the word love on the canvas like I always do with my Michaels watercolor pencils. I just think that's a really great way to start. And then I realized recently that I have a lot of Royal Langnickel brushes that I use. I didn't realize that I was using them and how much I liked them. I just assumed I had a variety of brushes because sometimes I have the Menta ones, which are teal, and sometimes I have the clear ones, and I just didn't realize they were all the same brand, which I think is pretty funny. So apparently I really like Royal Langnickel, but of course use any brand you like, any brush you like. People just ask, so that's why I'm letting you know. And then lastly, look at this. I just love the eyeballs. I think this is gonna be really fun to paint. And then I put in quite a bit. Let me know if you like that I put in, like there's a highlight here. And I put quite a bit of the shapes in if you want to put in the detail. Of course, you could paint this much more simply than I'm going to. And I think what we're gonna do, oh, I don't have it handy. I'm gonna go grab it. Okay, so what I think I want to do is paint the background, oh, dark greens, maybe cooler greens, some purple, kind of like I did here with this tulip. And then I think we'll paint white just on some parts of the frog, so we really get this yummy value change and a lot of depth and color. I think that'll be fun with this frog. I forgot to mention, this is a YouTube video, and this has a traceable. I'm holding it sideways so it shows up better on, oh, I guess it shows, it'll fit. I thought it would show up better on the video. sorry guys, I lost my train of thought. There's a traceable and a video for this one if you want to try it. I think you can have really great success with it. It's a fun one. Alrighty, let's go through the colors quick. So I just put out some titanium white and some Mars black. So during the pandemic, it's been going on for a little over a year now. I used to have pretty much all heavy body because I can thin it out with a little bit of water or some matte medium. But if I want it thick, it's already thicker. But during the pandemic, I couldn't always find what I wanted in the heavy bodies. So I've been buying the basics and I really like it, other than it just isn't thick. It's not as heavily pigmented, but I cannot tell. So you guys use what you like, of course. I'm just telling you the colors. I've got some phthalo green and some prism violet. And then I also put out some hooker's green. So I'm thinking I'm gonna use hooker's green and some yellows and maybe a little violet in the frog. These sort of warmish, brownish greens. But I want a cooler background, but I don't want it too cool, and I also want to tie it in. So I want to make sure I get some of that hooker's green in the background because that'll help tie it in with the frog. And then I think I already mentioned this is a 1-inch Royal Langnickel filbert brush. And then I have, I already said I have some white. And I think I'm gonna, I don't have water. I think I'm just gonna go to the time lapse here and paint just a dark background like I did for that tulip. Hello. I must have printed out my Traceable a little small. It's not quite fitting my 8x10. And I just scooted it up a smidge from the bottom, but you can do whatever you like. My canvas, so I painted, gosh, almost 3 coats in some areas on my canvas. A lot of these paints are fairly transparent. And then I added a little vivid lime green. I could add yellow, and I need a little bit more hooker's green. I added it to the hooker's green just to make some little bit, it was getting awfully dark. Oh, and I didn't really need the black because the purple and the green made a dark black. But I'm thinking I'll use some of the black in the eyes. And the purple's because it's the complement of yellow. Oh, and I'm gonna use Turner's yellow. I don't think it says the pigment mix, but so it's just, you use a cad yellow or whatever yellow you have, it'll work totally fine. It's just sort of a little bit dirty, muddied. Maybe there's a pinch of purple in there, or maybe just a pinch of brown. Maybe I'm gonna use that just because I used Turner's yellow on a painting for favorite daughter, and I had a couple of tubes left over. Oh, and it's looking like it's getting old, getting a little lumpy. So I might switch that out for straight up cad yellow or something like that. And I used yellow chalk pastel to scribble on the back of my Traceable. Just don't use oil pastel. Oils do not work. Well, actually you can paint oil over an acrylic base, but I wouldn't use it on top of this acrylic base because it won't stick. So use chalk pastel, use charcoal. And what else? Oh, and I'm gonna use, I need to go get a kneaded eraser. I don't think I have one here. I'm gonna lighten some of this chalk up, and I'm gonna use, what's a number 1 Zen Royal Langnickel. And I'm gonna start with some of the detail in the eyes because that's the most important part of the painting to me. Actually, I might put in some white where I want the white areas. And then I traced pretty much the entire Traceable. You could just do the outline. You don't have to do all the shapes. But I pretty much did the entire Traceable, because just in case that's what you guys do. Okay, is there anything else I need to mention? I'm gonna do quite a bit of time lapse and try and show, I was gonna say the entire painting, or at least most of the painting, but it also will keep it shorter so we can get it uploaded in time for you guys to see it soon. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Pop in with a couple of comments. So I think I'm gonna have my whitest whites be here and then around this eye. Well, and I guess if the light's kind of coming, oops, sorry, I spot my arm. Coming from this way, there'll be some whites here. And I'm gonna keep these a little darker, but the light's definitely coming from this side of the frog. And then I'm starting to paint in some blacks and some purples, and then I'm just gonna kind of meet the values in between. But because these colors are transparent, you know, that's not very, even though I painted it thin, and it's not nearly as white as where I put a couple of coats. So it's very similar to the tulip painting, just more complicated because there's more shapes. And I'm painting with a couple of small brushes. But all I'm gonna do is just paint shapes and paint values and be patient, because this one's gonna take a little longer. And then I picked a flat brush. It doesn't have a number on it. It's not very big, but it covers a little more ground than this number 1. I guess it's a round. I don't think it says round or a liner. Anyway, I just thought I'd pop in and tell you what I'm doing. So painting some purples. I could paint black there too. It doesn't really matter. Just having kind of fun with some of the darker values. Oh, I painted the outside edge of this eye. I don't know, I may not need to do that, but I didn't want to lose it. I think that's about all I need to tell you. Okay, I'm gonna probably paint just a little bit more and then quit for tonight. friends. I know I said I wasn't gonna pop in again until the end, but I thought maybe I should. So here's a closer look at the eyes. I added even more layers. I think they're done. I'm just trying to get a good look for you. So I don't know. I think there's about 3 layers on everything from about here on up. And then I'm making this a much harder painting. You guys, you know how I just kind of had shading and values in here? You guys could just do that and not have all these little dots. And then I'm just, like, here's even some straight up phthalo green. I'm looking more at values than the color. This frog, my reference photo, doesn't have any purple in it. But I think the purple just looks good. I think it just looks juicier. Here it looks black. So I'm just playing with values right now and spending a ton of time with a not very big brush, you know, lighter, darker. And I don't want to paint every little bump that this frog has, so I'm just indicating some of the bumps. Okay, I just want to pop in. You do not have to paint it this way. I just get into it sometimes. It's really fun for me to see how white, how much contrast I can get. And then sometimes if you just have splashes of white or light, that makes a painting much more interesting. Okay, I'll pop in at the end when I'm done painting this and say goodbye. Sorry guys. So I'm gonna sound crazy here, but I've been having a lot of fun with this one, and this frog just makes me laugh. And I added more color to it. I'll pick it up, but there's like some blues. So I mixed the phthalo green and the purple. I got a really pretty blue. I used some matte medium and some really muted green. Originally I made this area right here more distinct, and now I've kind of softened the edge, like he might be coming up out of the pond, or you're catching him in the forest, or her. I think I'm gonna call this warts and all. And I end up putting some of the blues and teals around the frog. The matte medium for the little dragonfly type. Well, and here, some of them have wings and some of them are just like a little smudge. All right, so I'm gonna pick it up so you can get a screenshot. Hopefully the lighting's pretty good. It's getting late in my studio. So it's really fun to have the dark background and then have a bright contrast. When I put a gel gloss isolation layer on this, it's really gonna make those colors look juicy. And then I'll probably put a satin varnish on it. So he might even end up looking kind of wet. I guess it's a he. I keep calling it he. Oh, here, if you want to see what the bugs look like. I love just the color. Even though I used the Turner's yellow, it looks quite yellow. Oh, here, should I get the eyes again? I haven't changed them, but I keep checking the eyes, but my reference photo, this eye must be turned a little bit and looking that way. Maybe looking at this bug. Because it lines up pretty well. His head is turned just a little. So I didn't fix it. Oh, here, and you can see some of the blue. There's the leg. Oh, and I gave him a little underglow, which I think is fun. Like on a car, you know, sometimes you see those cars with the underglow. Okay, and you do not feel like you have to paint it like this. I think I spent 10 hours on this, and so at my rate that I sell paintings at, I won't make much money on this one, but hopefully I can sell some prints, maybe some phone cases, license it with my agent. That will really help. Thank you for hanging in there with me on this one. It was really fun. I hope you try it. You can make it much more simple. But I've also given you quite a few of the shapes in the Traceable, which is on my website. I really appreciate the comments. That helps my YouTube channel and Facebook so much. I appreciate so many of you sent money for the Traceables or to support my channel. That means so much to me. Great big happy frog art hugs. Sorry guys. And I hope to chat with you soon. Bye.